Hey there everybody, this is Mike, this is Load F Media, and hey, today, a little different format here. We are standing up for today's video instead of sitting over at the desk, and so forgive me if I look a little bit uncomfortable, but just trying to switch things up here on the channel. You know, as a content creator, you spend probably a lot of time watching videos from influencers because those are the people that, you know, have probably, in your opinion, figured it out. They are where you want to be. So they've kind of learned the art of making videos. They've got the camera gear that you want, and now they're making pitches for, you know, new equipment that, hey, you think will help level up your channel. Well, I'm just like that, and I've watched a ton of those videos, and I've been influenced by a ton of those influencers, and I've bought a lot of things. Some I've really enjoyed and appreciated and gotten a lot of value out of, others not so much. And so, hey, in today's video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that I've purchased as a content creator that didn't add as much value as I thought it would, or as much as it should have. So, hey, let's start off with the first one, drones. Drones are great. I have I have probably 4 drones. And they go back to the Mini, the DJI Mini 1. And so I've been a drone enthusiast since they came out. I've had drones that before they even had GPS that you had to control with the sticks just to get it to hover. So I've been a big fan of drones, and every time I see a drone in somebody else's video, I think, oh man, that's what I need. I need to have that kind of footage in my videos to help add value to what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to do. And what I've found over years of buying drones and attempting to integrate them into my workflow is that you very rarely do. Sometimes I will actually get the drone out and use it when I need to, but most of the time I'm in a place where I don't feel comfortable using the drone, or I don't have the time to set the drone up. Case in point, most recently, my daughter is getting married, and she had her first wedding shower. All right, they had 2, one for his parents and one for us. And so the first one, go to his parents' house for the wedding shower. And I took my drone because they have a house that's on a lake, and so I wanted to get some really nice footage of the house, of the lake, of the soon-to-be bride and groom out on the balcony or the deck. Go to set everything up. Come to find out that in this particular county, they require that you register your drone and that you take a certain course. So I was restricted from being able to fly my drone. And that took, you know, about 30 minutes to try and figure out why nothing was connecting. And so then I finally figured out that those were the requirements I needed. So it just becomes an extra layer of work when you're trying to integrate a drone into your content creation. Now, some people are able to do that seamlessly. And hey, I like watching that footage just as much as the next guy, but I found that in my workflow, that I really just don't have the time or the energy to try and make all that happen. That I'm more of a come up with an idea, throw up a camera, and let's shoot it, record it, and put it out there, because I want to share as quickly as I can and not get too wrapped around the axles with, you know, trying to make it cinematic and trying to add all B-roll and do all that stuff. So number 1, drones. Number 2 would be gimbals. I've got a ton of gimbals. I've got a ton, and I'll throw in selfie sticks in this category because over here I'm looking to my right, I've got a stack of selfie sticks, because every time you see, and you know what, hold on, just pause right here. Okay, now we're back. I've got 2 particular selfie sticks slash, I don't really want to call them gimbals, we'll say selfie sticks, and they're made by PGY Tech, Manus Pro. And the thing that makes this so neat or user-friendly is that not only do you hold it like this, but it, you know, pops out into a quick little tripod. Okay, now that's great, and it's got a ball head, and so this design is great. And if you do a lot of run and gun type videos, this is amazing. It's got a pivot point here, and then your ball head moves around. It's great. Not saying anything is bad about this unit, or this product. But what I'll say is that because it requires a connection here that's not just a 1/4-20. So you can't just throw a camera on. You got to get the plate, screw the plate onto your camera, then slide it into here. That's an extra step. Once you do that, you know, that's extra time. And then now you've got this to use. And most of my videos, I'm not out and about doing that. I can hand hold most of my cameras for all of my vlogging. So the Canon B10, my action cameras, my Sony ZV-1F, those I can just hold in my hand. I don't need one of these for that. This would be great for one of these cameras, you know, like a mirrorless camera. But I don't want that extra weight way out here trying to hold it. And then I'm never, I don't want to say never, I'm very rarely going to pop this thing out into a tripod. So this one I don't ever use. And so that was, it looked great on paper, but I never use it. The other one is also by PGY Tech, and this is the Manispod Pro, or Manispod Z. And so this has got these two different pivot points here and here. And so what you can do with this, and again, it's a great concept, you can stretch it out like this, all right, and get a lot of distance between you and your camera. And so you can increase the field of view. This also has a tripod here. It's great. The one thing that I did like about this is it has this little thing that sticks out here, and we'll do that. There we go. And so this little thing here sticks out so you can hang it upside down. And so now that's really cool. But again, same problem that I had with the other one. It's got a particular connection right here. And so now you got to get that little connector, screw that onto your camera, and then now you've got to connect it here, and then you can use it. Now, you know, even when it's collapsed like this, you can put it into a tripod. Again, it's great, but I find that I never have a need for this. And just recently, I lost that. I took it off of a camera so I could put it on another tripod, and now I can't find it because it's like this big. And so now I've lost the connector and had to reorder it. So these are two in particular that I would probably not buy again. But I've got a ton of them. Now there are some I do use a lot, is this one, and this is by Ulanzi. And the reason why I like this one is because it does have just a 1/4-20 mount, and it is a selfie stick. It's telescopic, and then it's also a tripod. All right, so I use this a lot, and this will hold the weight of a mirrorless. It'll hold the weight of all of the cameras that I spoke about earlier, and it fits into a bag. It's very nice and small. This one I would recommend. This was a great purchase. This one's for a cell phone. It's this big, okay, has a remote, and then this pops out, and now you got the phone mount here. This will expand to about 6 feet tall, and then when you press this out, it becomes a tripod. And so this I take with me on just about every trip or vacation, because everyone's got their cell phone with them. And so this is a great way to get those selfie shots or family portraits. So highly recommend that one. You know, I don't know the name of it, but you can probably find either this one or something similar to it on Amazon. And so it's just a phone tripod with a remote, and it's pretty tall. But gimbals, never use a gimbal. I have no need for it in the kind of videos that I make. So before you invest the money in a gimbal, understand your channel and the content you're trying to create before you go out and buy it, because in my experience, and I've seen a lot of other content creators say the same thing, that they end up just being wasted money. Now the last thing is, and it's kind of counterintuitive. You'd probably hear this and go, wait, what? High-end cameras. Now, let me explain. My first camera was a DSLR, Canon T7i. And so it, at the time, was a very good DSLR, very good sensor. It had, you know, average video specs, but it was very reliable. Got kind of old, and so went to mirrorless. The first mirrorless camera that I bought was a Fuji, and it was an XA5. It's back there. Didn't understand frame rates at the time, and so it said 4K, and I was like, hey, 4K mirrorless is wonderful, but it was 4K 15 frames per second. So that's too choppy. So you basically had to use it at 1080p. That's not bad for a mirrorless camera, but the stabilization was pretty bad because it was all digital. So I learned. Next camera was a Fuji XS10, much better. In-body stabilization, great sensor. And so this is a great camera, right? But what I found is that, again, it only had 4K and it went up to 60 frames per second, and that was it. It doesn't do any super slow-mo. It doesn't even go up to 120 frames a second. So that was kind of a wash. I like the sensor. I like taking pictures with it, but the video kind of left me wanting. And so I kind of dorked around with a couple other cameras, and then I bought this. Now this is the Sony a6700 hybrid camera. It's designed for photo and for video. Great camera, but I find that I just don't take it out as often as I would like. I instead take out this Nikon Z30 because it's smaller, lighter, easier to take with me, and provides great results. This camera, despite the price point, takes great photos. My family actually prefer it. Whenever I take pictures with this, they always ask me to bring it back to the next family event because they like it so much. Great video. You're looking at it right now, hooked up to an external microphone. This thing is just bananas good. So I would say don't chase specs and think that that's going to be the answer, because usually with specs comes a higher price tag and usually a larger form factor. Now some will say that this is a smaller form factor when you compare it to like the A5 and the A7 IV, A7S4, yeah, A7S4. Names of these cameras get very confusing. I'll put them up here, but the new Sony A5, see again, they're very confusing. Sony just came out with a new camera, and their previous camera, it came out before the A7S III. Very good photo camera, not so great on the video side, but it's a tank. It's huge. The A7 III is a big camera. So yeah, A7 III, A7 IV, and A7 V. We'll go with that route. But they're big and they're heavy, and this one with this lens is also pretty heavy. Now I do have some other lenses that make it smaller and make it a little bit more manageable, but the body itself is pretty big. So you have to take that into account, and it's expensive. And so you don't want to just take it anywhere and, you know, fear of dropping it or losing it or having it be stolen. So in conclusion, to recap, first of all, drones, just be very aware of what you're trying to accomplish on your channel before you invest the money. Same thing for gimbals. Selfie sticks can be a win, but don't buy them. Don't buy them haphazardly. Find the ones that actually meet the requirements that you need. The trial and error method, while it can get you the things that you need, usually are time consuming, waste a lot of money. And so, you know, just kind of understand what you need and find that particular thing. And then lastly, high-end cameras, chasing specs. Don't buy cameras just because they're the it camera and they have all these features. Because I'll say this, I have seen content creators who go out and buy, these $3,000 cameras. A7S III is a perfect example from Sony. $3,500 camera. It's at the time was their flagship hybrid camera. Everybody on YouTube was grabbing it up. So such overkill for YouTube. I mean, look at this. This is a $600 camera, and it's doing the same thing that camera does. So just don't rely on specs alone. Look at the body size, look at the usability, weight, and overall image results. So, hey, this is Mike, Load F Media, talking about cameras and content creation today. And if you like this kind of stuff, hey, become a subscriber. Make sure to hit that notification bell. And if you got value out of today's episode, hey, do me a favor, hit that like button and leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. But for now, as always, we'll see you in the next one.